Welcome to JM Excel webinar. I am so delighted you are able to join me, whether you are a procrastinator or you know someone who is a procrastinator and you fear that you or that person is in danger of damaging your future because of procrastination. I am here to help. We have a lot to cover today, so let's get started. Now is the new later. Defining procrastination is pretty simple. It's the action of delaying, postponing, or avoiding doing a task. We're all guilty of procrastination at some point in our lives. Everyone puts off unpleasant tasks from time to time. However, problems arrive when procrastination begins to impact your experience negatively. For example, if chronic procrastination extends to matters of health and self-improvement, you may be asked, you may be at risk of adverse outcomes. It's also helpful to note that procrastination can look like laziness or industriousness. When we favor entertainment and excessive rest over work, we're in lazy mode. I can relate to that. But we can also procrastinate by doing other things. For instance, someone who bakes dozens of treats when they're behind on a deadline, others clean or answer emails when they have an unpleasant task they're putting off. This can take many forms. Let's take a look at the signs, common reasons for procrastinations, and how to get the job done. Okay, the danger of putting things off. According to research, 20% of the population is considered true chronic procrastinators. Chronic procrastinators often suffer from broken marriages, lost jobs, deflated dreams, financial disarray, and self-esteem issues. These are serious issues, and while putting off that task you've been dreading may seem harmless, it can, in fact, lead to severe consequences. So what's more, procrastination is not honoring our God-given time, which is a spiritual danger. To put off what we're here on earth to do is to disobey God. Telltale signs. While there are many signs of procrastination, here's a list of common telltale signs you or someone you know may be a chronic procrastinator. You may have difficulties coping with change and transition. You've lost without a roadmap or ways out. You are chronically late. Your to-do list is never ending. You focus on non-essential work instead of what needs to be done. Now, this causes challenges. Overcoming procrastination can be especially challenging because we all have different reasons for doing it. The plague of the perfectionism. The fear of making mistakes is real and can cause people to put off important obligations for another day. I'm guilty. Perfectionism may seem like a good quality, however, it can be quite detrimental. Perfectionism is often confused with having high standards. However, with perfectionism, standards are often unrealistic. Procrastination occurs as a result of thinking such high standards will never be achieved, so why even try? Fear is deeply rooted cause of procrastination, you know. From the fear of failure to the fear of success, fear can be very crippling, very crippling. For many, the idea of failure can be devastating. This stems from a view of failure as a result, final result, rather than a stepping stone. So most people view failure as a final result. This is it, I'm done, I'm toast, versus a final stepping stone. Failure is seen as a permanent stain on one's reputation, causing self-esteem, to take a significant blow every time an objective isn't achieved. That's a lot of pressure. Whew, a lot of pressure. On the flip side, many procrastinators are also fear of success. So success can also create a lot of pressure with perceived expectation to achieve more. The ideal of people demanding more of you after you already achieve something can cause many to sabotage potential success either consciously or subconsciously by procrastinating. Fear is deeply ingrained emotion and can cause people to procrastinate for different reasons. Now, lack of motivation, that's another one. Whew. Motivation is related to expectations. Procrastinators often think they must be fully motivated to begin a task. This can be really unrealistic, guys, totally unrealistic. And in many cases, progress leads to motivation, which cannot be seen until a project is underway. So, sorry, motivation don't work in this particular case. Lack of interest. Oh, we all have been there for this one. We're all guilty of delaying or avoiding tasks we find unappealing. However, if everyone put off the things they didn't want to do, nothing, I mean, nothing would ever get accomplished. From changing diapers to filing taxes, there are many jobs we all wish to avoid, but doing so creates more work and heightens the stress of the increasing to-do list, that beautiful to-do list. Distractions that gets the best of you. We're all faced with modern day distractions, from emails to social media to addictive games, solitary. Entire worlds are out at our fingertips. Smartphones, the internet, gossip around the workplace are all to blame when it comes to distractions. They keep us from doing important work. So let's change our mindset right now. So now that we have a better understanding of common reasons for procrastination, let's talk about how to overcome those bad habits. If your tendency to procrastinate is related to perfectionism, you may need to consider your mindset. The fear of making mistakes is associated with having a fixed mindset, which is addressed in Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. In her work, Dweck explained those with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities are set in stone and nothing you can do about it. It's set in stone. So they only focus on their current intelligence or talents, thinking more cannot be developed. This mindset can hinder one's ability to grow. Learn and make positive changes. Learn more about your mindset under mindsetonline.com. You can go to that website and you can get more information on the mindset. Now, keep in mind, too, that perfectionism upset the natural order of the world. In a sense, it supplants the ideal that God is the only perfect being among us. We can strive for goodness, but we will never be perfect. Never. Face the fear, whether you fear a negative outcome or fear failure. Here are some questions you need to ask yourself the next time you feel procrastination setting in. What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? What is the worst possible consequences that could happen? What could happen if I ignore the situation? Why am I putting off this again? What will I gain in the long run by putting this off? How often do people actually die from doing this? Am I trying to convince myself or something that is not true? Am I scared of the process or the results? Can I handle the outcome? Am I trying to protect myself from a certain outcome? Am I actually scared, or was I just told this was scary? I can relate to about 4 or 5 on this list, which it's a work in progress, and I'm working to get past this. So I do use these questions a lot, and it does help, really help, face your fears so you can overcome them. So next step would be listed out. You know that to-do list that's growing, that to-do list, yes, you know what I'm talking about. And specific deadlines to each task. If you add specific deadlines to each task, then you can arrange those tasks in an order that will help manage your workload. It's helpful to work in a finite time period. You may have a master to-do list, something really long and big. But if you break it down into weekly or even a daily list so that you may know where your deadlines are, it's very helpful to do that. Having specific deadlines will help you build a sense of momentum and build your confidence as you complete your task. Now, keep in mind, it's best to do this in baby steps. Nothing fosters procrastination like a large, daunting project. I know, project leader, yes. Whew, when it's like, whew, yes. To avoid becoming overwhelmed and feeling defeated before you even begin, break down tough jobs into bite-sized portions to make sure that they actually get done. Perhaps you are hosting a dinner party. What you do first, perhaps you can need a date. You definitely need a date to get started. And you also need a guest list, and you need to invite people, and you need a venue. Keep working in small tasks, checking them off as you go along. As you complete each small task, you will feel a sense of accomplishment and begin to see the pieces falling into place as you're going along. Remove distractions. That's another one. That's really big, and that's key, to remove distractions. When it comes to distractions, smartphones are your first thing to blame. If distractions are the cause of your procrastination, it's critical to remove any temptation, smartphone, here you go, smartphone, and only think about the task at hand. Here are some great tips about removing distractions. You want to block certain websites. You want to delete games and apps on your smartphone. You want to record your temptations and directly address each one of them. You want to put your smartphone on airplane mode or wear noise canceling headsets, unplug router, and then just close the door. Tackling the hard stuff. The most productive people agree to get ahead. Yeah, start your toughest task first. When you complete the biggest part of your work day first, this will give you a serious confidence boost. That is part of motivation after the fact on the back end. The feeling of being productive can carry you into the next task, and having the hardest job complete, the rest of the work will feel easy by comparison. Again, being a project leader, with handling projects, I like to get the hard stuff out the way if I can, especially if it involves other people or other entities or businesses, because that way you are not falling behind, because you can easily get behind on some of the other tasks too. Plus, you'll be like, whew, I got that project done, that particular task done. This is great. And then you move on to the next. So it feels good to just watch yourself check them off, because then it like, wow, that list gets smaller and smaller, which is really excellent. That works very, very well. So now let's look at the 2-minute rule. This is a great, this is a philosophical trick. Psychological, sorry. This is a psychological trick that you can use. When faced with a task that you really don't want to do, thinking of only doing it for 120 seconds becomes manageable. That's 2 little minutes. You can do this. Remember, You can do anything for a limited time. That's true. Anything for a limited time, no matter how tough work might be. The idea of facing it head on for only 2 minutes now, two, can relieve a ton of pressure. Chances are just getting started is enough to keep you going. When telling yourself you only have to work in 2 minute increments, you are much more likely to dive in and knock it out and get started. Now, hold yourself accountable. Now, that's a big one, holding yourself accountable. It really is. This is a big one because accountability can be a significant motivator or demotivator when it's lacking. Creating to-do lists is enough for some people to hold themselves accountable. Check the list throughout the day to make sure you are completing the necessary task. Another, perhaps more powerful form of accountability is being accountable to someone else. Here's how to do it. First, you're going to take a task you have been procrastinating on, break it into small little pieces, and you set deadlines for each step. Next, let someone know your plans and ask him or her to check up on you and your progress. It could be a spouse or a parent or a partner or a neighbor or work buddy or pretty much anybody. This can be even more effective if you work with someone who's also trying to conquer procrastination. You can be accountable to one another. Perhaps you can work with someone else who's participating in this event. Accountability increases your desire to accomplish your task. Keep that in mind. I love that one because that's so true. No more excuses. Let's say no more excuses. No more excuses. We are all prone to procrastination. It's up to you to determine whether your procrastination habits are getting in the way of accomplishing your goals or even harming your health. We come up with all sorts of creative reasons why today just isn't the right time to start or finish X. I'm too busy, I'm too broke, I'm too stressed, I'm too risky, it's too risky, too uncertain, too inexpensive, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too disruptive. Once in a while, those reasons are valid, but however, often they're not. They're merely excuses. It's essential to explain your excuses. Ask yourself if it's truly valid or if there is a deeper reason for putting off doing something like fear. Is it fear? Is that what's keeping you from putting it off? Once you identify the why behind your procrastination, you can find the right solution to get you going. Really, you need the solution so you can get started. You find out why you procrastinated and you accomplish that, you're good to go. Now that we've have all this knowledge, again, we talk about applied knowledge, right? And evaluate experience. And you go through and you reevaluate yourself and you go back and reflect to make sure you make these changes so that they can stick and change your mindset. So putting knowledge into practice is really important. So here's the first practice in accountability. I invite everybody who's participating in this webinar to share one task that you have been putting off and what your plan is for getting started. So let's get started. So you should be writing that now. So I'm just, if you want to send me an email and let me know that you accomplished this, remember it's jmexcelconsultant@gmail.com. And then, I'll see how far you got. We can do that. Okay. So let's accomplish more. So to accomplish more, procrastination can be confused with laziness. But as you know, by now, being lazy has nothing to do with it most of the time. At the fundamental core, we procrastinate when we allow emotions to influence our motivation. Stop overthinking how much needs to be done and simply start. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Do it. Allow yourself to take breaks if needed, and keep in mind why task X, Y, and Z need to be completed to accomplish your goals. Now, if you need additional resources on all the material that we use to do this website, you can email me again at jmexcelconsultant@gmail.com, and I'll give you the list of resources that we use to facilitate this webinar. Now, great job, everyone, and thank you for your wonderful attention. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have learned how to identify the reasons behind your procrastination and gain some techniques for breaking through so you can start accomplishing your goals and enjoy the success you deserve. If anyone has any questions or anything to add to what we've discussed today, please feel free to message me with your thoughts. If you need one-on-one help getting yourself in gear, let me know. My email address is jmexcelconsultant@gmail.com, or you can just visit my website at www.johnmaxwellgroup.com/Judy McMurtry. Once again, thank you. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day. And we look forward to seeing you next month with our next webinar on affirmation. So more information to come on that, and you will be receiving it shortly via email. So be on the lookout for it. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Stop sharing. Stop recording.